Not even good morning anymore. Hello, everybody. It's our 12 o'clock session on day 3 of Tish Tash Year Review. I'm very excited to welcome one of my favorite people today. We're just going to give everyone a few minutes to log in because we have quite a lot of people registered, and we'll get started very, very soon.
I love it seeing when everyone's name comes live online. Like, it's really exciting, and loads of names that I'm familiar with. So this is going to be an awesome session.
Kelly's just landed back from the UK. So you feeling a bit jet lagged?
I'd say you used a word this morning, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of how it describes me. I'm feeling a little jaded. But I have to say, like, it was really pain-free. Uh, Dubai airport, like, I mean, it was super quiet, but in terms of like landing and the COVID testing stations, like, I know some people have had challenges in the past, but I'm telling you, I was landed in a taxi, duty-free purchased within 45 minutes, and I had my test. So it was really good, actually. Really, really good. No complaints. Oh, we've got a good number.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, hello everybody. We just wait probably one more minute, just so we've still got people logging in, and then we will get ready to begin Kelly's session. But we're really, really excited for this one. I've done it myself, but I end up doing Kelly's sessions like 3 times because I just always find that I get something different out of them, and I always leave feeling really, really upbeat and vibrant. So yeah, I hope you guys feel the same today too.
That makes me happy. Well, they say, like meditation, like, rituals, routines, you're supposed to do them more than, but like, what's the quote? They say a bit like bathing, you have to do it more than once or something like that. There's a quote. I must look it out and send it to you. It's good.
I thought it was like 21. I'm not sure I can stretch to watching the session 21 times. However, you never know. So
no, that would be more setting a habit. I'll find the quote that I'm meaning, and I'll share it with you so you can share on your social later. Perfect. Oh, a nice little number here.
Well, hello everybody. I keep going to say good morning, and then I realize it's not morning. But hello everybody. Welcome to our 12 o'clock session on day 3 of Tish Tash Year Review. It's another great day of sessions, and I'm personally very excited to be able to bring you one of my favorite people, Kelly Lundberg, who is going to do her session on brand new goals for 2021. Kelly helped me personally with my goals for the year. I know it's going to be an amazing session. So I'm going to hand over to Kelly, and as ever, pop all your questions in the chat box as and when you've got them, and Kelly will field them, and have a great session, everybody.
Thanks so much, Tash. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon to you. Love doing these sessions. And I think in so many ways, it's been so good that we've got the opportunity to still be able to connect. I know Tash has now made me host so I can share my screen with you. So let me log in to my PowerPoint, which is here. Minimize this. We were busy taking pictures earlier. Right. Okay, can see us. Share screen. There we go. Right, okay, so you should all be able to share my screen. Do you know what I'm going to do, actually? I'm going to take my video off so you can all kind of focus on the presentation, and I'm going to come back on at the end and ask some questions. I really want this to be not just something that you're coming along to and going, yeah, that was nice. I actually really want you to leave with a really clear goal. And if you've got more than one, amazing. If we've got just one, I'm going to be super happy with that. So this is not oh, let me sit and watch this. I need you to take action, because I really love working with people that, have an impact, and we can't have an impact if we don't make a change. So this is what this presentation is all about. What I would love to know is if you can find the chat box, tell me, are you an entrepreneur? As in, are you setting up a business? Have you set up a business? Are you in business? Or are you an employee? Because a lot of what I'm going to be talking about today is about your personal brand, and people get mistaken that really only someone who has a business should have a personal brand, and this is not the case. So I'm going to be talking about goals from a personal branding perspective, but I also want you to think about this as an employee perspective, as you as a brand, because everyone is a brand. And I've got a really funny story actually to tell you about the where personal branding comes in and the power that it has. So this actually happened to me yesterday. So let me turn off my video, and then let's get started with this. Okay, so here we go. A goal is a dream. A goal is just a dream with a deadline. Now, I really like that, because when we don't have deadlines, we don't actually know when or if we've actually completed or achieved something. So I think that's a really good note to start on. If that's something that's powerful to you, then take a picture of it and share that with someone. Perhaps you will inspire them, and feel free to take pictures and post them on your social media today. I'll repost them. I know Tish Tash, they'll repost all things that you share from the masterclasses today. So first of all, I want to kind of go into, if we know that setting goals is so important, then why do so many people not do them? And I want to just go over this, because I think it's important we've all had goals maybe at some point that we haven't achieved. And if we understand why we haven't achieved them, then I think it's really important to establish that now, so we don't make the same mistakes in 2021. So I'm sure you've all heard at some point that goals need to be SMART. So the SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time specific. So we know that kind of goals should be along those lines. We've also maybe heard as well that 3% of written down goals are achieved more than 97%. This was actually a Yale study as well. So goals that are not written down are just wishes. So we know that there's a study there. So here's the thing. It's not the lack of knowledge or education that actually stops people from setting goals. Okay, so we've established that. What is it? What are, and these are going to be 5 of my reason of why people don't actually set goals. Another thing people often say is that they lack time. They don't have time to write them down. They don't have time to review them regularly, or time to change their habits. And I think this is really interesting. And this is a stat actually that's in the UK. But the average person in the UK watches 32 hours of television. So actually, if we allocated an hour, let's just say 1 hour for reviewing and revising goals every week, and then maybe 30 minutes of like a visualization exercise, then there would still be so much more time to watch Netflix and TV. So there's another thing that, time is not actually an excuse and not a reason for not setting your goals. I want you to think about how much planning goes into planning a wedding day. Okay, one day, maybe at a push, sort of one day in one evening. People plan for what, a year, 18 months. So planning your goals, which is your life, should be a priority. But here are some reasons why people don't set goals. And I want you to think about, do you fit into any of these? And then in the chat box, come and tell me and I'll have a little look. So one of the reasons is lack of belief. Many people don't actually believe what they hear. So they don't believe what is taught to them, or they don't believe that they could actually significantly achieve more than they're currently achieving in their business or in their work, in their health, or just in their lives in general. And this is not really surprising, because we're all creatures of our own circumstances. So we form our beliefs based on experiences and people who surround us. And that's why it's really important to surround yourself with incredibly optimistic, goal-driven, positive people. Tash is one of my amazing friends. But if you have people around you that have limited goals, then it's hardly surprising that you might feel a little bit skeptical, or maybe you're not as ambitious with yours as well. So bear that in mind. Another reason could be previous disappointment. So let's be honest here, right? And I think it's probably fair to say that a lot of adults are not as resilient as they think they are. They say they are, but they're not. And often when someone tries something and if they fail, they refuse to do it again for a number of reasons. And that could be embarrassment, or comparison with others who've succeeded. But just when you think about kids for 1 minute, you know, they really leap up again and again with their failures when they're learning to walk. They just don't go, all right, do you know what? I failed this time. I'm not going to get back up again. And and often we learn the pain of disappointment. So then we start to settle, and we settle for second best. We think, well, if I don't set my sights too high, then I can't feel too disappointed. So that's not your fault. I mean, that isn't, but acknowledging that, then that's the next step. So previous disappointment stops us from achieving goals. Another one could be fear. So fear paralyzes so many people, and those that I mentor into inaction. Fear paralyzes people to just keep on doing the same old thing that they've always done, which means they're going to get exactly the same result. Fear stops people from setting new goals. Fear stops people from, you know, just keeping them in their comfort zone, and allowing you not to set big, hairy, audacious goals. Fear that they cannot do it, fear that you'll fail, or fear that other people will ridicule you. So let's not make fear one of the reasons why you don't achieve your goals in 2021. Another reason, this was quite interesting actually, the last time I did this presentation, it came up a few times, laziness. And I was surprised at how people, and I'm so pleased that they did actually come forward and say, laziness is another reason why people don't actually achieve their goals. Because goals require energy. And without energy, you're not even going to take one step towards achieving what it is you want. So if that is you and sounds familiar, acknowledge that you are, and then make a commitment and a plan to change it. You should only set goals that you really want to and that are important to you. Lots of people set goals that are not important to them, and then they wonder why they don't complete them. So laziness. And then the final one is this culture that we all live in of, I want it now. So in today's society, we want everything now. We're living in this world of instant gratification. If we want something, we buy it. Never mind if we've got the money or not, because we'll borrow it. People are really focused on now and live now and pay later. And goal setting requires a focus on the future. So maybe that's saving for retirement, or rather than than hoping for a lightning strike in 20 years time that you're going to be win the lottery or something, or maybe going on a crash diet and not thinking about how important the food element or the even exercise is necessary. So I want it now is not the best way to set goals. I want it now does not worry about goals. So why am I sharing all this is I want to see change, and I want you to acknowledge maybe why you've set goals in the past and they haven't really happened. So my question to you, I'm coming into the chat box, is which one are you? I want to know where you are. Find my questions. Do any of those resonate with you at all? Would love to know where you are. We've got someone who's an entrepreneur. We've got, does any of these go? We've got fear. We've got lazy. We have, what else do we have that's coming in? What is your acknowledgement? Which one are you of these? Let me know. Okay, here we've got, and this is it, acknowledgement. We've got a combination of 1, 2, and 4. Procrastination. Oh, wow, this is a big one, actually. But acknowledging that you procrastinate and learning to find tools in order not to do that is just one awesome way to get over that. We've got laziness. We've got, isn't that funny how many people actually acknowledge that this is maybe one of the things? So we're going to change that. We're not going to be lazy. We're going to make a commitment today. So yeah, okay, perfect. So let me come back out, and I will close the box here. Okay, so we've got maybe the reasons why. Let's go into the kind of next steps of, well, where are we? And what is it that we can actually do? So here is a process that I've used with my clients, that I use on myself, and I'm incredibly goal driven. I think that's probably one thing that Tash will say. What to describe Kelly in like 3 words or 2 words, goal driven. Like, I love goals all the time because it gives me something to propel towards. And especially when you're self-employed, you know, you don't have anyone to answer to. So my goals are sort of what and who I answer to. So here is my 5-step process on creating goals for brand you. Now, I'm talking a lot about brand you and you as a personal brand because this is a topic that I'm incredibly passionate about, because I believe every single person is a personal brand and they just don't represent themselves in the best possible way. So today is about getting on top of what are your brand you goals, your personal branding goals, and how can you improve them? And what is it that you can do? So get your pen and paper out, and these are some of the things that the steps that we're going to go through. You know, most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. I really want you to think about that. Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. So what I would love for you to do is, these are the talking points of creating the wheel of impact. I wonder, oh yeah, here we go. So some of you may have seen this before in terms of sort of life goals. This for me is the wheel of impact that I've created that is specific to your personal branding goals. When I'm working with someone and helping them develop their business, these are aspects that we work on: improving your finances, your digital presence on social media, what kind of media exposure, which is for many of you through the role and through Tish Tash, that why it works so well, your collaterals, how are you presenting yourself, where are you speaking, what are the things that you're doing, and how authentically are you showing up as you. So can take a picture of this or draw the circle or just really simply write down all of these. And I want you to on the spot, so not think about it in too much detail, where are you currently now? So I want you to think, where are you currently now? So on your habits, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're maybe 3 because you want to get better habits, then you draw a pencil from the habit section 3 right over to the green line into personal growth 3. Maybe your personal growth is 8, so you then take the pen and draw it around, and this kind of gives you the wheel that you're looking for. You don't have to draw a wheel. All I want you to do is establish now from your gut, where are you currently? Okay, remember I said that this was going to be practical. I really want you to leave with something. So where are you now on each of those things? Write that down. The next question is going to be the game changer. The next question is, in order to be a 9 or a 10, what would you have to do? In order to be a 9 or a 10 or an 8, 9, and 10, so we need to measure it by something. What would you need to be doing? So let's take media exposure, for example. So if you were, maybe say you put yourself as a 2 there, and you want an 8, 9, or 10, what kind of media exposure would you like to achieve? Is that be featured in a particular podcast, in a particular magazine? Is it have a weekly column somewhere? Is it hire a PR company, which I know of a great one, that can help you with that strategy? Or maybe it's your social media. Maybe you're like, right, okay, I need to, if it was going to be 8, 9, or 10, then I would want to be more consistent. So what does the consistency look like? Or is it, I want to reach 5,000 followers? Or is it that I want to pivot in what it is I'm sharing online? Okay, so the reflection of where are you now? And then the question you need to ask yourself is, where would you like to be, or what would you need to do in order to make it a 9 or a 10? Okay, so this is the step one of the process. This is reviewing where you are to where we want to get to. We need to have some sort of map. So some questions to ask yourself in the reviewing process is, what have been some of your favorite memories of the last 12 months? Love asking this question, because if there were favorite memories, what do we want to do? We want to repeat them, or we want to create new ones that are even more magical. What did you accomplish or complete? It's not until we actually sit down and look back, God, how far did we actually come? I have an entire process that I go through with those that I work with, and it's 32 pages. It takes 3 to 4 hours. But like I said, how many people take years to plan a wedding? This is your life. You can take 3 to 4 hours to work on your goals going forward. What was money well spent? What was an investment in you that you're like, I'm so glad I did? And what did you learn about yourself? What felt successful? And that word is really good. What felt successful? Because often it's not money that's in the bank, it's maybe recognition or feeling accomplished or proud of something that you've done. What felt successful? Surviving the pandemic, especially if you're in business. That should feel successful. And probably one of my favorites, and every time I ask myself this, and those that I mentor, it actually becomes something that they stop doing and I stop doing. What do you need to stop doing? Because this is often what holds us back. What do you need to stop doing? What's an aspect in your business that you don't like doing? Or what's an aspect in your day-to-day job that you really don't enjoy that you need to stop doing? Or what do you need to stop doing with your personal goals? Is it buying food that doesn't make us feel good after we've eaten it? So that was maybe more personal, but maybe what do you need to stop doing in business? I asked this question, this will be not last Christmas, the Christmas before. And what do I need to stop doing? I wrote down, I need to stop doing my own accounts and finding someone who can help me. And I wrote that down, and it was the best thing I've ever done. And I started working with Gemma, and she got me, she managed to reduce my VAT bills. She got me so clear on my financial profit and what was coming in, what was going out, that what do I need to stop doing? I think the year before that, one of the things I wrote down was, what do you need to stop doing? Being a full-time stylist. So that was more than 3 years ago, possibly even 4. I really wanted to transition more into the business mentoring. I was doing more courses. So I needed to transition. So what I need to stop doing, I need to stop styling. So I stopped styling. I sold my agency and transitioned into 3 years ago what is now business mentoring. So what do you need to stop doing? All right, next step. So step 2, reset. Questions that you need to ask in order to reset. So we've got, what life goals will you work towards? So remember that statement that I said, most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. What life goals will you work towards? How can you stretch your comfort zone? What new skills do you need to focus on in the next 12 months? So this is a really interesting question, because maybe there's an aspect that you actually really want to learn. Like for me, what's one of the new skills I need to focus on in the next 12 months? I'll tell you what it is learn how to do Instagram reels. So I can do them myself. I have a videographer, but I want to learn how I can do them myself, because if I want to pull one together this afternoon, I can do it. So I need to learn that skill. And I'm saying that out loud because I'm socially committing. What changes do you need to make to become maybe more productive? I think there's always an area, a room for improvement that we can become better at what we do. We can become better at showing up every day. So what changes do you need to make to become more productive? So one of the things I wrote down, again, like I said to you, I do this annually, sometimes twice a year. One of the things I put down was plan my week and plan my meals and plan my workout on a Saturday. And that has become a sort of 2-hour process where I plan a lot of my foods, I plan my week, I book all my meetings in and check, that they're all happening. I send reminders, and that has allowed me to become more productive. So for you showing up as personal brand, what changes do you need to make to become more productive? And then who do you need to become in order to get what you want from your life and business? Who do you need to become? Is that someone that has a more positive or upbeat attitude? Is it someone that, what is that? It's personal to you. Do you want to completely change what it is that you're doing? Who do you need to become in order to get what you want from your life and business? All right, step 3. Love this. You can't keep doing the same things you've been doing and expect to get different results. So let's stop making excuses and make a change. Sometimes when people are on the fence about mentoring or working with someone, it's not fear of them working with someone, it's a fear of them actually going to make change. And that can be scary, really scary. Simply having goals won't make them come true. Okay, that's what habits for. Your goal may be to meet a certain income level this year or be featured in the media a set amount of times. But it is the habit you will create is what you'll do every day to achieve it. The habit you create is what you do every day to achieve it. So we can see how important the habits and rituals aspect is in order to achieve your goals. So what are some of the habits and some good habits that will create goals? So here's some suggestions for you. Take some ideas. I know Tash is a huge one for planning her wardrobe. I mentioned to you about something that I did about planning my week on a Saturday. It could be more exercise. I know for me that a morning routine is game changing, getting up at the same time every day. And I actually do it on the weekend. The studies show that just even getting up at the same time really helps you build better momentum, better sleep habits, and will help you get to your goals quicker. Trust me. So what there is something that you need to consider. So these are some habits. I'm going to ask you, what are some of the habits that you need to maybe cut out? Or what are some of the habits you need to create? What are some of the rituals and routines that you can start adding in? Who is guilty of hitting the snooze button? If you are guilty of hitting the snooze button, you need to read Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. If you're guilty of hitting snooze, you must read that book. Incredibly powerful. Some of the things that work really well for me, reading my desire statement in the morning, having a great list of affirmations, going on daily walks, listening to a podcast or a book. And a lot of these can be combined, by the way. Affirmations I often do when I'm brushing my teeth. Listening to something inspiring will be when I'm exercising or maybe having a walk, both or one or the other. What are the things to you that are really important? A lot of these are personal. What are some of the things that you need to do to create that awesome ritual? That could be, a ritual could be 30 minutes every day on social media to build up my engagement and to connect with 10 new people. And you create that as a ritual. And that's the first thing you do every day. So go back to your reflect and your review section where we were talking about what do you need to do in order to get to a 9 or 10, and then create a ritual around that. Deep down, we all know what it is that we need to do. It's so true. We know what we should be doing. We know what will make us happier, what will make us healthier, and what will help us grow. So just bear in mind, when you lose your momentum, which we all do at times, it doesn't mean that you should give up. Losing momentum also doesn't mean failure. It just means that you need to relax and get back into it. I flew in this morning at 1 o'clock in the morning. I love waking up early, but there was not a chance I was waking up at 5:30 this morning. No way. Am I going to exercise today? Probably not. I think the exercise is going to be unpacking my case, getting organized. If I can stretch a walk or 10 minutes on my rebounder, great. But it's not going to happen today, but I'll get back into it tomorrow. So that's the same when you create your routine, your habits. So what kind of results do we want to see for your personal brand? I've got some questions for you. So to create results, here's some things that you need to ask. What do you want to achieve in the next 3 months? What do you want to achieve in the next 12 months? Remember back to most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. Remember, one of the challenges with goal setting and why people don't achieve it is that I want it now culture. You need to also think long term. What do you want to achieve in the next 3 years? How will you create the results that you want? So that goes back to going to the review section. And what's one of the things that you can do to bring it up? If you're at a 3, what's one thing that you could bring it to a 4? It doesn't mean that you need to become a 9 or a 10 in the next 4 months or in the next year. It could just be work in progress. We are just humans. We are all work in progress. All work in progress. So how will you create the results you want? So I want you to write down what I want is, why do you want it? So take each of those goals in your review section. So whether it's the media, why do I want, what I want. So let's just, so we say on the media one, I want to be featured in 3 publications this year. Why do I want it? Because I believe that this will help grow my business and what my credibility and my personal brand. How will I get it? Could be hire a PR company, connect with people on LinkedIn, connect with them on other social media platforms. What prevents me from getting it? So being aware of, well, what's stopping you get this? Is it laziness? Is it fear? Or none of the above? And how will I know when I have it? Will you be able to, when I ask this question at the end of the year, will you be able to say, do you know what? I'm now up to a 5, or I'm now at 7, or I'm now a 9. And then the 5th step is repeat, 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 repeat. Your mind doesn't know the difference between reality and fantasy. Your mind acts on what you feed it, so feed it good thoughts. So what do I mean by this? Is repeatedly reading over your goals and visualizing your goals will help you to replay the message to your brain. Okay, and then your mind will do everything in its power to turn those goals into reality. So when you get your mind on your side, then you create your greatest ally in your journey towards creating your dreams. So the final part is, and this is something that you can do afterwards, but today was really just getting you clear on maybe some of the goals that you want to achieve. The final part is I want you to write a desire statement. So a statement, and this can be to yourself, it can be to your boss, it can be to me if you need a person to actually write it to. And imagine 12 months from now, you're telling me, for example, everything that you have already achieved. So it's really important that you put it into the tense as if it's already happened. Okay, so let's take a goal, for example. You know, I'm so excited that I have now reached my financial goal of, and make it super specific. Add emotion to it, add feeling to it. Now I've reached this goal of whatever the amount is. I can now treat my family, or I've paid off my debts. I can buy a pair of shoes without having to think about it. You know, love walking out of Harvey Nichols with a shopping bag over my shoulders, like really get that feeling. Or I was committed to growing my goal of social media to 10,000 followers. I love now that I've reached this goal, and I have the swipe up function because it means that I've gained more sales and business, and I've made so many friends on social media with all the engagement that I've been doing every day. And I love social media because it's provided me, be careful of the wording, it's already happened. So it's provided me with a wealth of opportunities every day. My followers have increased. You get the picture. So start it with, it's the, or dear Kelly, it's the, dear your mum, dear you, whoever you want to address it to. Imagine we've just bumped in down the street and I'm like, oh wow, you were in my brand new goals presentation at the start of the year. How's it going for you? And you say to me, oh, Kelly, it is so exciting. Do you know what? Everything that I wrote down in that presentation that you did, I have achieved. Let me tell you. And then you go into detail and you tell me everything that has happened. Has anyone got any questions about that? Any questions? This is incredibly powerful, this tool. This kind of brings it all together. Let me know if you've got any questions. I'm just pulling up the chat box. Okay, so here's a really good question. What is a desire statement the same as affirmations? What's the difference between them? I believe that they are, but you can include affirmations into your desire statement. So the one that I mentioned, let me come on and bring my video on for you so I can see you all. There we go. So the difference between it, I often include affirmations into my desire statement because my desire statement has more descriptions of like feelings, like how does it make me feel in terms of what does it look like? How can I see it? But you can add in affirmations into it. So like I wrote down one here about, you know, affirmations of social media provides a wealth of opportunity. That could be an affirmation. I love doing social media because it provides me with a wealth of opportunity. But also you need to have some things that are personal to you. I love that I've met so many new friends on this every day. I meet 10 new friends and it's just such a social platform, for example. Please, can you repeat the name of the book, The 5-Second Rule? I'm going to send this out to panelists and attendees. The 5-second rule. There we go. Has anyone got any sort of questions about this? Before I go into, I want to know what some of your goals are. I'm not going to repeat people's names, so don't worry about that, but I want to help you that you're on the right track. So share with me some of your goals, come into the chat box and tell me what it is that you're going to achieve. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to run over, you know, what we have covered in this masterclass. So reasons why people don't set goals and why you're not one of them anymore. The brand new 5-step process. Why good habits why good habits are why good habits are actually what create the results you desire, and designing your future and giving thanks for it. Okay, so that's what we've covered. If you've loved what we've covered today and you want to have a one-to-one strategy session with me, then you are more than welcome. I am inviting you to join me for a one-to-one session. Here is the link, brandnewimpact.com/case study. There's a little case study on that, so there's more learning there. And you can book in a call at the end. So that is my invitation to you. some more questions, and I look forward to having a one-to-one. I have plenty of goals. Should I make separate lists for each of them? Yes, you should. So, and then sometimes if we have too many goals, it can be quite overwhelming. So kind of break them down to what is our priority, maybe pick 3 or 4, 5 goals perhaps, and then go through, how do you know that you'll go through those questions that we've just gone through? How will you know that you've achieved them? What does that look like? What do you need to do? And then create your desire statement around that. So what have we got? Come on and tell me, what are some of the habits? What are some of your goals that you're going to be working towards over the next 12 months? Okay, so we have here questions. I need to speak to the team about being able to share this presentation. Okay, so we've got a couple here. Work on my morning and stroke night routine. So what I would do is with that is being really specific. And you know what I did, because I have it here in front of me. I have exactly what my morning routine looks like and my evening routine. I have it down exactly what it is so I can keep to it. So let's be really specific, means working on my morning routine. What does that look like? And what does that nighttime routine look like? What does it look like? Going to bed at the same time? Well, what is that time that you're going to go to bed at? Or what is it that you're going to do? I wind down for 30 minutes and I read a book and I switch my lights out at 10 o'clock. So let's get really specific on that. I want to be working, I'll definitely be working towards learning new skills. So what new skills? Let's be really specific. I want to learn, like my sister actually, I was saw them last weekend, and I asked each of my nephews, I always love asking them, and I was like, so what's one thing that you would like to do this year? I didn't say, you know, achieve, because they're 7 and 11. And I said, you know, Mummy will tell us too. And my sister said that she said, I'm going to learn sign language. And that's going to help her in her career. So that is something that you can work on. What is the skill that you need in order to do that? All right, I want to get a teaching job in a nursery or in a school. Okay, great. So when it comes to adding that into your desire statement, I would want to add some feeling in that. You know, at the end of this, you know, when you write your desire statement, it's like, I'm so happy. I've got my dream job as a teaching assistant in a nursery. Love the nursery. I look after 20 children. They've all got different personalities, and really make that vision a reality. Okay, so we've got work on my habits. What kind of habits are we working on? So let's get really, the clearer you are, the higher chance that you have of actually, you know, watching this or achieving this, I should say. I love this part. This is the best bit. I love when everyone shares with me, what are they going to be working on, or what are they going to aim towards? Any more that I can help you with? I've just shared the link for those that want to watch the little case study video. We've got no more procrastination anymore. Awesome. Another book that I loved that sort of, I say, touched on procrastination, but also about creating great habits is James Clear, Atomic Habits. Really good book. Really good book. I'll just write that in. Atomic Habits. That will help you maybe overcome some of your procrastination. So has anyone got any questions, anything else that I can help them with? Do they want to run through what their goal is? Learning a new language. So I would challenge you and be, what language do you want to learn? I am going to learn, or in your desire statement, it would be, I have learned to speak Spanish. Or I have learned basic level French. And I have learned to ski. So taking up skiing, I would say, I love having my weekly ski session. So then we're being really specific. Loads of skills there. Love it. Anyone else got anything else they want to add in here? Be inspired by other people's ideas, goals. Okay, so we've got, and again, I've seen this one a couple of times. I'll be building on, I will be building my network this year. Okay, that's, I've gone through exactly this journey with someone that I've mentored, is what network and how, in terms of you're going to do that. So I'm going to build my network by speaking to 50 people a week or 50 people a month, or attending 3 networking events, or joining 10 Facebook groups. Let's really get that specificness around building that network. What does that look like? So I hope that helps. I will put myself out there by being more grounded. Love to know a little bit more about what that actually means, about being more grounded. And what does putting yourself out there look like? Like if I say to you, did you achieve your goal at the end of the year, putting yourself out there? And you say yes, I'll go, so what did you do? And then you need to say to me, well, I did X, Y. Do you get where I'm going? Okay, how does one put goals into practice? I tend to set goals, but don't always achieve them. And I did go into that. Maybe you missed the earlier part of the masterclass, because I did go into detail about why people don't always achieve their goals. But putting the goals into practice does come down to having great habits, great routines, and having something specific to work towards. We need to know the end goal. And it might not be the end goal, but we need to know the next step that we're going to take. Okay, attending more seminars to build myself. Love this. I'm going to ask you, how many seminars are you going to attend? And you could maybe make that a quarterly goal. It could be a monthly goal. It could be a yearly goal. At the end of this year, I attended 10 seminars, and I have learned so much about myself and my personal growth and my journey. So I just make that a little bit more specific. I hope this is really helping you to be able to craft something that is really specific, really unique to you, but also will help you achieve your goals. Okay. What should I do when I have the feeling of I want it now? Well, it's knowing that you're in the I want it now situation, and it's understanding that not everything happens overnight. So it's baby steps, it's baby steps, it's baby steps. What is one thing that you can do to build the momentum in order to get to the next goal? Good stuff. I want to set up a salon after being out of work for so long, having my first child to juggle with, maybe building followers on social media. So with this, again, it needs to be, how many followers do you want to build on social media? And when it comes to writing your desire statement, I want you to describe this salon in so much detail. What does it look like? What are the services that you offer? Why do you want to kind of achieve this? Just to create that feeling of when it actually happens. Oh, very good question. What advice would you have for someone who is homeschooling, working, and trying to set goals when the days and weeks are all over the place at the moment? No one day is the same and can be different every day, even at 7 a.m. Major respect to everyone who's homeschooling at the moment. I'd like to say I know it's super tough. I haven't homeschooled. I looked after my nephews virtually during the first lockdown every Friday, but that was for a couple of hours. So honestly, not beat yourself up about it, for starters, and know that this is only temporary. It is going to be temporary. It might be temporary for 6 months. It might be temporary for, another 8 months. But I think for you is maybe changing the day around. Maybe if that works, Is it that you can focus on them during the day and then they know that in the evening it's your time, or when they go to bed, that maybe you're not an evening person, but over the next 6 months you have to become an evening person because that's when you get your time. Or maybe it's a commitment that you go to bed earlier and between 5 and 7 before the kids are up. I don't know how early kids get up here. I think they get up pretty early actually. But is there a way that you can have that 1 hour slot that's just yours, or that 30 minutes that's just yours to eat that biggest frog, that one thing that you can do to build the momentum? There's no perfect answer, unfortunately, but let me know if any of that helps or works. Any tips for someone struggling on consistency? Is that to do with social media by any chance? It's one thing that comes up a lot. Not consistent on social media. I would say from that perspective is, what is the consistency? Is it getting up in the morning? Is it social media? Is it reaching out to clients? Like what is it? And then it's, a lot of people go, for example, let's take the social media. Okay, I need to be more consistent, so I need to post daily. And I'll ask the question and be, you know, how often are you actually posting at the moment? And they'll go, once a week. Okay, so what about if the consistency then becomes twice a week? And let's build up that habit and that routine and that system. And you can look back and go, do you know what? Yeah, hey, managed to do it two times a week. Or working out. Great one. A lot of people will say, right, okay, do you know what? I'm going to walk 10,000 steps every single day. Okay, great. How many steps are we walking? Or they say, I'm going to run every day or 5 times a week. And you're like, well, how many times are you doing that right now? And then the question would be, well, I'm doing it once already at the moment. Okay, so let's kind of double that and build up that. And that's what I said, you know, when we looked at the wheel and we're aiming towards 8 or 9. Of course we do. Everyone wants to show up as the best possible version. But I'm not 8 or 9 on any of those all the time. No way. So it's just tweak, review, and try and get better. Tweak, review, and try and get better. So maybe it's just having something that's a little bit more manageable, building the skill of the habit of twice a week and patting yourself on the back that you posted on social media twice a week, or that you went for a walk and you reached 5,000 steps. Like one of the things that I did was I wasn't reaching my 10K step goal a day. The current circumstances of where we are, it was just, it's tough. So what I did was I changed my goal to 8,000 steps. So what then happened was, and someone said to me, but it should be 10. Says who? Okay, if I'm consistently doing 8,000 steps, then that makes me feel really happy. And you know what? I do it. But I was doing 10,000 steps twice a week, and then 4,000, and then 5,000, and then 3,000, and then 7. And now 8,000, I'm doing that consistently, minimum 5 days a week. So I hope that helps answer the questions. And everything I share when it comes to coaching and mentoring is how I built up a business, how I've sold a business, how I've worked on my routines, invested in personal development. That's all I do. I really believe that we don't live long enough to make all the mistakes ourselves. I was saying this to Helen Farmer yesterday on I did a radio interview, and I said exactly the same. We've got to learn from others. As above, I often find life gets in the way and leaves me little time to focus on me. And often that happens because we don't put ourselves first. So if you plan into your diary, working out 1 hour, that is your priority, or 30 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day, but it's actually scheduled in. If nothing's scheduled in for you, it doesn't happen. If your nail appointments aren't scheduled in, the chances are it probably won't happen. If it means that you need to put 30 minutes of a bath time, and this is what comes down to creating your habits, routines, and rituals. What is it that's going to make you do that? So I know at the start of the week what the week looks like and where my gaps are for me. Now, admittedly, I don't have children, and it's a lot harder because then they're the priority and not you. But even more so, why you need to be shit hot at planning. Okay. Any other questions before we wrap up? Because I know there's another call happening. So if that's it, really enjoyed speaking to you all this afternoon. I'm really passionate about, personal brand, but creating great goals and just having a great life. What we know of, we have one, so let's make it the best one. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, and hopefully we will connect again in the future, if not on another strategy call, on another masterclass. So big kiss. Thanks so much to the team at Tish Tash, Polly, Natasha, everyone. Big kiss to you all, and see you soon.